Today we're going to be playing Persistent Goblins, and this is a very spicy deck within the historic metagame. And the deck is named after Putrid Goblin, which has the Persist mechanic. And this mechanic allows you to essentially sacrifice it an infinite number of times if we meet a certain number of conditions. The Persist mechanic makes it so that way Putrid Goblin, when dies, comes back to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it, as long as it doesn't have another -1/-1 counter. So what we're going to do is make it so that way when Putrid Goblin dies and the Persist mechanic activates, it comes into play with a +1/+1 counter on it, and within the MTG rules, that makes it so that way there's no counter on it. And that allows us to loop through and infinitely sacrifice Putrid Goblin. So how do we do this? First, we need something like Metallic Mimic. Metallic Mimic comes into the battlefield, we choose a creature type, Goblin, and Metallic Mimic becomes that creature type and makes it so that way other creatures come to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it if they are that creature type. Another option is our Grumgully the Generous, which is, first of all, just a sweet commander card for playing green-red goblins or just +1/+1 counters in general. And that's each other non-human creature comes into the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. So that's how we get Putrid Goblin to come back infinite number of times. So how do we abuse this and make it work to our advantage? Well, first we're going to have Skirk Prospector, so we can make infinite mana. That's one option here. But really, more than anything, it's that sacrifice of Putrid Goblin that makes it really worthwhile. And then we can infinitely sack our Putrid Goblin. And we can use an aristocrat-style card like Pashilic Mons. If I'm saying that correctly, I have no idea. And Pashilic Mons essentially pings your opponent or deals damage to any target, really, when you are sacrificing Putrid Goblin. Although, given that this is a combo deck, we're probably going to be going to our opponent's face. But you're not always going to have your combo in this deck. And the nice thing is, it functions without your combo. It's just a mediocre Goblin aggro deck. Along with this, we can use a card like Sling-gang Lieutenant to be not only the sacrifice outlet for our Putrid Goblin, but it also deals damage when you sacrifice. So if you have a Grumgully on the board, Putrid Goblin on the board, and a Sling-gang Lieutenant on the board, we can sacrifice Putrid Goblin over and over again a number of times and deal 1 damage and gain 1 life. So that's essentially the combo. Along with this, we have cards like Coco to fetch out our creatures that we're looking at here. We've got random creature-based removal here in Risk Rider. This is certainly not the optimal build of this deck, but it is a fun one. Another creature-based removal is Munitions Expert. So we're playing a decent amount of goblins in the deck, and usually what you're going to be doing is playing this on turn 2 to take care of something like a Delver of Secrets, or maybe a Thalia, and this is a phenomenal way to do it because you're likely going to have a Skirk Prospector and then a Munitions Expert, or maybe you're playing this on turn 3 to do that same thing. Ronveld Hordemaster because it's good and goblins are good. Dark Dweller Oracle is great if you are really trying to go for the portion of it. So let's say you happen to have a Sling-gang Lieutenant and a Grumgully, but you don't have the Putrid Goblin and you're looking for it. You can sacrifice your other creatures to impulse draw, and that means you exile a top card of your library and play that card at this turn. We also have Feed the Swarm, again just kind of random removal to make sure that we are covering our bases. Black obviously has a good amount of removal here. I think that in the optimal build of this deck, you probably have more copies of Pashilic Mons, and that you can use as a way to have your backup removal instead, but I like to be able to take out Planeswalkers at instant speed and be able to handle enchantments in black. That's pretty much the deck. The mana base, of course, being a 3-color deck in an older format here, or a format that has older cards, you're going to have a lot of rares. Obviously, this is a very taxing mana base, unfortunately. I highly recommend, if you're opening packs and you need these lands, go ahead and open packs that have these lands in them. So Dominaria is a good one for sure. What is this? Ravnica Allegiance, that kind of a thing. I think the shock lands, of course, are going to be Ravnica Allegiance, and the other Ravnica set are going to have your shock lands, which are the best ones. I'd say that Streets of New Capenna and Ikoria have the Triome, so if you're playing a lot of 3-color decks, I recommend those packs. All right, so let's take this deck for a spin here. Not sure what I changed, but we'll go with it. Now, mind you, the historic ranked best of 1 meta tends to be pretty intense, so if you're getting crushed with this deck, I mean, just know that it's probably going to happen sometimes, especially if you get into the upper tiers. Historic is a little degenerate, and that's not bad. That's what it's meant for here. All right, we've got 2 lands and a Skirk Prospector. I'm keeping this. This is a great opening hand. We got our Coco. It's a bummer we have to Soak and Zen, but that's fine. And we pass the turn. We actually have 2 of the 3 pieces for our combo as well. I'm sorry. We have, I guess, really 2 sacrifice outlets, kind of. So it's not great, but we at least have something to go with for our combo. But I think we could probably just get away with a beatdown with Rundvelt. Oh. Interesting choice. Huh. Well, we don't even have a Muxus in the deck. Joke's on our opponent. We're playing a sub-optimal version. Alright. Do we want our Metallic Mimic out? Almost tempted to. We have Bacillic Mons, but I guess we don't really have a good sack outlet. We'll go ahead and pass. Now, normally, if you are playing Goblins in Historic, you're probably going to be playing Muxus. I don't know why you Muxus. But I'm guessing we're going up against a black-white Taxes style deck. It's my uneducated guess here. Let's go ahead and name Goblins, as that's another good piece here to our combo. Oh, we forgot to attack. That's a punt. Don't shame me too much in the comments. Okay, you can shame me a little bit, not that much. Tutoring to the Grave. Oh, interesting. Maybe this is Esper Control? I don't quite understand what this deck is. We'll go ahead and take action. Let's go. We're going to beat face. I think that's probably the best choice here. Can Coco really feel like sacrificing any of these people as they're good. With our War Chief on the battlefield, we also can play pretty much the rest of our hand. Ooh, that is also nice, but I want to save that. As much as it would be sweet to have 2+1/+1 counters running out, I feel like I might be overextending the board a little bit here. All right, now let's go ahead and smash face. Oh, and our opponents are dead. See, you don't even need to combo off. You can just take down a weird Esper control deck without even caring. And thanks for the weird rewards. Let's go ahead and play. Now, this deck is certainly not unique in its use of Putrid Goblin. This type of combo has been available with Putrid Goblin for a while. My favorite version of that is the Pauper deck called Mogwarts, which plays First Day of Class and Putrid Goblin to combo off. And I think it's hilarious that it's a bunch of goblins going to school. Ooh, Shadowborn Apostle deck. This is going to be fun. There's pseudo combo deck versus us. I like it. All right, what do we have here? I do want to shock myself so that way I can Metallic Mimic and name Goblins. How many Shadowborns do we have here? 6 creatures. Okay, that works out just fine. No attacks, and I can feed the Swarm on these and be fine. It's going to be a little bit before we have all the Shadowborns on the battlefield. Got 2 pieces of removal. Again, I think you probably want to play 4 copies of Bacillic Mons in the Opt version. Well, I don't love that. Don't love that. Why are they attacking with it? Okay, well, we drew into the land, which is not what I wanted at all. Dragon Skull Summit. And we'll eat. Nom nom nom. That doesn't really matter to ping them for 1, but I really hope we don't get a land next turn. Okay, expected. How many Shadowborn Apostles does it take to screw in a light bulb? I probably 6, because that's their card text. Ooh, Matron. Okay, so this is good. We've got a tutor target. What do we want to tutor? Do have that. I might go with Grumgully as the tutor target here. But let's take a look through our deck and see what gobbos we want to take. We don't really have much. I mean, it's a 3-card combo essentially that we're trying to do. Only 1 piece. I don't know if it's worth it to get another piece and fizzle. Good news is we got a jump blocker. All right, we do. Sling-gang Lieutenant actually might be good. That's another combo piece, but we already have the sacrifice side of things. All right, let's risk it. Let's go for it. I'm into it. Nope, this seems like a bad play. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait a turn. Be patient. Sweet card back from the opponent. I like it a lot. We're rocking this very bizarre Third Eye. Maybe it's a card that I don't recall from older sets, but it's a really cool looking card back for us. And since we're playing zombies, of course, we have to be Liliana. I mean, obviously they're goblins, but there's no, like, goblin planeswalker that I'm aware of. Maybe the artifact one, Duretti? You can't be the avatar Duretti on this as far as interesting choice. Do I care about 3 damage? Probably not. I mean, the good news is we do have removal if they have to play a big bad demon, and it is instant speed, so we could leave that up. Now, mind you, they're not even at 6. They could easily get to 6 this turn. We'll see. Is this a normal card to play in this deck? That's very weird. Well, I do really like the Dark Dweller Orc, so we can start sacrificing creatures. I know I should be doing this at an instant speed. I'll be patient. We can sacrifice our Goblin Matron to take a look at the top cards of our library. We can even do that at an instant speed, but of course we'd have to have an instant that we're getting. I think we want to sacrifice that to dig for our... Okay, you suck. No idea why you'd play Drana in a Shadowborn Apostle deck, but maybe that's the thing to do. Well, I don't really see the purpose of leaving our Matron if we don't have a sacrifice and we already have 5 lands. I think it's probably fine. The good news is Murderous Rider happens to have lifelink, so we can, and is a 2/3 body. These little one chumpers aren't going to do squat. Ooh, I love that. Seems like we've got a good board state, and our opponent is at least 2 turns away. Oh, that is perfect. Okay, well, let's Coco. I know I should be doing it at instant speed, but hello, there we go. Is that game? We have infinite mana. We really want to wait a turn because we want to be able to use that mana to dig through our deck and play at the same time. So I think we're going to pass. Really, really hope they don't kill my creatures. Because if we played our Putrid Goblin the next turn, we can make an infinite mana, but we wouldn't do anything with that mana. So this is much better. Okay, well, this is actually just objectively better. What do they have in their hand? I wish we had a Thoughtseize in this deck. Well, let's start making mana. See what happens. We can still play our Sling-gang Lieutenant to close out the game. Let's go ahead and see what we get. Well, it doesn't seem like our opponents happen to have move. Otherwise, they probably would have played it by now. I think we go for the Sling-gang and we kill it. So far, so good. The clicks for infinite mana or infinite combo decks are not fun. Okay, it's just a little more tedious. Well, our opponent is being a very good sport and letting us play through the con. We only have 13 more times to do this. We'll see if they stick with it through those 13 times. I guess if they're playing a Shadowborn Apostle deck, maybe they respect the combo game here. It's funny that the animation for Putrid Goblin hasn't even come in yet, and you can activate Sling-gang Lieutenant's ability. I guess that's a good thing. You don't want animations to be blocking your functions within the game. Well, we're almost there. Thank you, dear opponent, for letting us do this awesome combo and get it on video here. It'd be really funny if they scoop finished. And that's game, and we win. Go Infinite or go Goblin. What random uncommon did we get? Arch School of Thraben. We were playing zombies, but goblin zombies. Alright, let's do one more here. We'll see. Are we going to win through aggro, win through combo, or die? Probably the latter. Well, the lands suck, but we do have very good help. I think we're going to just muddle through with the lands. This is the price of not paying all the nice rare lands. I mean, these are nice ones, but they're not the nicest ones. It's 2 or more. Switch out here. Surprised going up against a deck with red, unless they're playing, Raid Bombardment. Now that's a spicy deck that I like a lot. Alright, I think we want to run out our Grumgully first. And then we can take out any little people that they're playing. Double Raid Bombardment, wow. Alright, I think our Grumgully is probably going to get hit by a Strangle or something here, because they're, looks like they're about to target it, is my guess. No, wow, alright. Well, in that case, I'm thinking about our Dark Dweller Oracle. Hopefully we hit the land next turn. Coco? Oh wait, no, we wouldn't need to Coco. We've got Sling-gang. Because that's combo right there. The big downside about Sling-gang is that you can't Coco into it. So usually I think people play, the backups. And they play 2 or 3 copies of Sling-gang. I'm okay with not being able to Coco into it because Coco is probably more for the aggro side. I mean, it certainly is great to get your combo pieces out with Coco, but this deck functions just fine without being able to combo off. Oh, well, I don't love that. It just says sacrifice a creature. I'm sure they gotta sacrifice it, so I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice it myself. Now, the dangerous part here... Oh, I don't like that at all. It's weird. I've never seen a Raid Bombardment deck that hasn't run out little creatures right away. Well, I don't love that, given the fact we missed our land drop. That hurts quite a bit, but we do happen to have still 2 of the 3 combo pieces as well as Coco. Sacrificing our Dweller was kind of a bummer. This feels more like a big red deck than it does a Raid Bombardment deck. Normally, Raid Bombardment decks, you Raid Bombardment and the one that's very similar to it that is power 1 or less. Okay, well, we got our Coco, land for Coco. The question is... I think we'll go ahead and instant speed Coco. Especially given the fact that we're going up against red, and they probably have a lot of removal, as we've seen. What? What a weird choice. I just don't understand this deck. Maybe they had a really, really bad hand? Sure, we can let the Raid Bombardment pieces resolve, but let's Metallic Mimic. I'm going to go ahead and grab a Grumgully, I think. Just as a backup? No, I'll grab a Pestilence, I think. Because hypothetically, we should just win the game next turn, depending on what this card is in our opponent's hand, which is a good feeling. Alright, here goes. Let's see. Looks like we won by combo again, unless they blow up our stuff. GG. GG. I think they got land screwed, which it happens even in these super aggro decks. They also might be playing a high amount over. They just drew all of their. I know I mentioned this before, but I really think that having multiple Sling-gang lieutenants in the deck is a good thing, even if you can't do it. It's just such a great enabler, as it has both the sacrifice piece and the damage piece built in. You know, if we were playing with Grumgully and Skirk Prospector, then you happen to have another 2 cards instead of just the 1 that Sling-gang does. Of course, Putrid Mons is another one that deals damage when a guy's, which is good. All right, we got him. Thanks, opponent, again for letting us play through this janky combo. And that's game. Well, folks, we comboed off a couple times with Putrid Goblin and one with just some aggro attacking as well. Seems like a pretty solid deck for being the suboptimal build. I would definitely go up at least 1 copy of Putrid Mons, and once I get wild, I do that. Probably go up 2 copies of Goblin Matron, go down the Murderous Rider. If you like the video, let me know if there's other combo decks you'd like me to try out here, or if you would prefer to see combos in games like Historic Brawl and Commander. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.